There we go. All right, we're starting here. Give us a moment. Thank you for everyone's patience. We'll be online. This is the first time we've been online here on out here in the outside together. So we'll do our official startup here in just a minute, but we'll get started in a moment. I actually can turn it around and hopefully you can see everybody. You can kind of look and you can see we've actually got people. Hey, wave everybody! All right. Yes, we are live.
We are live.
We are live. All right. Make sure everybody is. Do we see everybody?
Hi, everybody.
Okay, no more looking at my face. Go ahead.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Don't stand forward. Go back behind there.
All right. Trying to figure out there's no feedback. What a delight to see everybody here in this park. And back. So we're also live streaming tonight. That was the little technical difficulty just getting started. So we're going to be getting started here in a minute. Let me introduce you to everybody here. You know Cantor Rubenstein. Sorry. Rabbi Funky.
Shabbat Shalom.
David Sharp, who's playing guitar. David Rubin on the violin, and Yosef Funke will be doing percussion tonight. And we're going to start right now with the Kiddush and a motzi so you can eat.
Yeah, I've got that.
And then they'll be picking up with Nigunim, and we'll be getting Kabbalat Shabbat started. So that's kind of the order tonight, so that you don't have to wait on those picnic dinners during the fall. Here we go. Oh, and if you need cedar reams, they're over here.
So since many of you have come with, how many of you brought a little picnic for yourself this evening? Fantastic. We wanted to give an opportunity to sanctify the Shabbat, and so we're going to start with Kiddush and Motzi just to get it out of the way and really bring in Shabbat that way. So we're going to have the cantor make those blessings for us right now, and then we'll have a few words before more words of music. Okay. I'll just stay seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishi ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu Beotanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Get to your wand before the buggies do. And for those of us who are having a nash, my very eleganti piece of challah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. You want to do it right now? Yeah. All right, and I think it is incredibly appropriate in this moment, as this is our first time gathering with music in so long, that we thought this was an excellent time for a Shehechianu, thanking God for bringing us to this moment
Me'avdut lecherut, a moment from slavery and bondage to freedom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Shabbat Shalom. Before we even dive into anything, we're going to just begin to flood the space with music, flooded with nigun, of Shevet Achim, of how good it is to actually be here. Oh my goodness. So invite you as we welcome this nigun in to begin to breathe in your Shabbat and breathe out your week. Yay, na, 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 ya da da 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 Here we go. Breathe in and out. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. I want you to look around. I want you to see the people. And if you are streaming, I want you to look around where you are and just take in what has already been in order for you to be where you are right now. I'm going to speak for just a moment here, if you'll indulge me. Kendra, can I just hand this to you?
Oh, for sure.
Because this is an extraordinary time for our community as we're gathering for the first time in person for a musical service in over a year. Just for some context, the last time that I gathered with people to make music in service like this, I was very pregnant, and my son just turned a year a couple of weeks ago. So the journey that is taken for us to be in this moment is emotional. I want to acknowledge Congregation or Tzion. We have been in a very dark time. Cantor Dana, your ability to transmit prayer and spirit through the screen has literally held us together. The extra hours, the sometimes weeks without breaks, it occurred to me who Cantor Dana actually is. She is Devorah, the woman of the torches, holding the light of the way. We have lost a rabbi in flesh. We have brought on a one to hold our community, but nowhere have you ever really stopped. And so we want to thank you and acknowledge you this evening. Let's just do that one more time. And with that loss of our beloved Rabbi Micah Kaplan, we weren't able to hold each other physically. And this community has held each other virtually and spiritually. Really spiritually, we held each other. And I want to just put it in the world. I want to say it out loud that we are here together right now, and we dedicate tonight to him, his legacy, his beautiful family, and all the Torah that he has left reverberating out into the world and in our spirit. 10 months after you've passed on, Rabbi Kaplan, we remember you. We hold you dear to all of us. May his memory be a blessing. Amen. And despite the grief and despite the light in the tunnel that we're beginning to see, we are carrying a lot of grief. Missed birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, meeting newborns, being at funerals, seeing loved ones, being in school or working side by side with others. We carry the grief of the hugs we've desperately needed in our loss, the hugs we've needed in our anger, and the hugs we've needed in our uncertainty. And not that our experience can compare to the terror that our ancestors faced, but the accumulation of fear, worry, and trauma is nothing new to us. This week marked Yom HaShoah, and Rabbi Kaplan of blessed memory, he called it our history's darkest times. The Men's Club provided us with a candle, a named candle, which allowed us to personally connect to the individual souls who perished. We light these candles, as our teacher taught, to give life to the memories of the loved ones taken by the Shoah. This small act has a lasting impact, and it rekindles our connection. These times have been our most isolating, what I call the social darkness. Yet, if there's anything that I know about the Jewish people, it is that we are resilient. And what small act can we do to mark this time? As we learned from our ancestors thousands of years ago as they marched in uncertainty through the splitting of the sea, what did they do? They sang. We make music. We lift our voices to God and say, thank you. Thank you for this life and the miracle that we are even here. So we're going to get ourselves ready to sing. We breathe out the week, inhale the Shabbat, and sing. Our first song tonight of Yedid Nefesh. We begin to feel the burdens roll off our shoulders, and in fact, I invite you, maybe even do that now. Just have that moment to open up your heart and become light as a gazelle. You've seen them run, it's magical. And our spirit comes to greet the presence of the divine, the holiness of Shabbat, as we sing, Ya'arutz avdach kamo ayal. I will run to you like this gazelle. So breathing in, we are on page.
If you'd like to follow along, we're on page 5 of our Kabbalat Shabbat booklet.
Breathing it in. Here we go. Come, let us sing out praises to the source of life, the foundation of our redemption. Let us be placed in the face of the one with todah, gratitude, and sing out holy songs of praises. The Chunaranana gives us an invitation that each and every single one of us gets to be face to face, panav, with the face of God, with the face of the Creator. And we are given an opportunity to say thank you. What keeps you going on this journey? We breathe in, let a smile come to your face as we honor the gratitude in our hearts. The Chunaranana.
Page 8.
Ladon Manaria Letu Ishenu Nikala Fanabitu Dabis Miro Narialo Nikama Fanabitu Dabis Miro Narialo Exhale, inhale, repeat. How are you doing? You good? You give a little shake off the week, a little breathe in the Shabbat, and I know it's a little bit strange. It's a little bit like, whoa, we're around each other, but this may it only grow, right? May it only more in good health. Amen. Okay, we're gonna do a little something different in just a moment, as if it's not different enough. I mean, right? Okay, here we go. We're gonna do the words of Yismechu Hashemayim. We know a lot of these words, which is about the rejoicing of the heavens and the gladness of the earth and the sea that's coming alive. Yismechu Hashemayim v'tagel haaretz. Fortunately, it's not in your booklet, but that's okay, because what it's about right now, I thought this was so interesting. Yismechu is about the planet being glad. And I wanted to know how the impact has been affected by COVID. And the good news is actually that there have been 5 major shifts of our planet because of our having to stay home. We've had a significant reduction of pollution. The waterways, which have been murky for generations in certain parts of the world, have cleared up. You can see fish. The animals have come back into previously populated areas. The noise levels have reduced, which apparently in science is significant because they can test the sonar sounds in certain parts of the world, and it helps us to understand what's happening on our planet. And the air traffic pollution has completely dropped. Our earth, oh earth and skies, hear our cries that you should be healthy, vibrant and joyous, and may the seas and all that's in them roar with life. Nope, we're gonna get this here. We're going to have a little opportunity to feel our bodies, the earth of our body. Feel her or him, feel your body just breathing, being alive. Feel your heart, which is your heavens, your clear mind. And now feel your feelings. Let them roar. That's what we're doing with Yismechu Hashemayim. We're going to let this one go for a little bit here.
השמיים ותגל הארץ, ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו, ירם הים ומלואו. השמיים ותגל הארץ, ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו, ירם הים ומלואו.
Tradition says up until this point, it's only been a warm-up. And that we're at a point now where we make a formal invitation. L'cha Dodi is that. L'cha Dodi and Yedid Nefesh are linked. We say Yedid Nefesh, lover of my soul, and then we say L'cha Dodi, come on in, lover, the one who loves me. So L'cha Dodi is actually the invitation to welcome the Spirit of God. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to rest on one verse because there are so many in this amazing poem. We're going to use the words from Mikdash Melech on page 18. I thought this was perfect for tonight because it says, Holy and majestic city, arise, emerge from empty years. You have sat too long in the valley of tears. God will restore goodness to you. We're at a point right now to just sit in this holy invitation to be together, to be lifted, and welcome the divine in. What would that look like if God were to be with you, the Shabbat? How would you breathe?
Lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat lekavela lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat lekavela
Lecha dodi.
lecha dodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. מקדש מלך, עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך כפיך, רב לך שבת בעמק הבכה. Amor, עלייך אליי, lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. מקדש מלך, עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך כפיך, רב לך שבת בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמור עלייך lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. lecha dodi. We're gonna stand. לקראת כלה,
Welcome the bride.
פני שבת
We'll face where we came in.
לקבלה. בואי בשלום, עטרת בלט, גם בשמחה. ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה. lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה.
You can dance a little bit.
lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה.
Sing it with me.
lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. Breathing in, you can settle into your seats. But feel the lift.
Our text does say Shir Chadash. Our job's to sing it new, make it feel different, make it feel fresh. I appreciate your openness. The cantor said, bring you, Aviva. So I'm bringing what I have to offer, and I hope that this music is making you feel good in your soul. Feels amazing to me. Yeah, for sure. So Cantor Dana, we're going to be singing the Psalm for Shabbat before we get into Kabbalat, before we get into our Mariv, and our text says Tzadikat Tamar. Do you want to share anything about that?
Well, the first thing I was thinking of is I'm thinking of Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, a righteous person will flourish as the date palms. And, one of the things that I keep thinking about is when you look at a date palm, when it's really terrible weather, have you seen sort of the video, or have you ever seen a palm tree in a hurricane? And you see that the way they bend. And it's not just, they just sort of like, la, 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 they just don't sway, but like those, they will bend almost all the way over. And you'll think that they're gonna snap and break, and they really don't. And the idea of comparing us to a tzaddik, a righteous person, to this sort of nigh unbreakable image of this palm tree is really incredible, especially coming out of this crazy year where we really have been forced to bend in ways that we really weren't used to or expected to ever. So I just think of that, of the righteousness of coming through this year, of being able to bend and sway, having been able to adapt and exercise patience like that, and the hopes that we can continue to do that and sort of learn from that over this past year as we make it through. And the other thing I wanted to point out, as we're sitting outside this glorious weather, as every time we inhale, the sweetness of the air is just filling me. So I hope everybody, every time they inhale, is just those orange blossoms, those beautiful blossoming buds everywhere.
It's beautiful, so beautiful. I'm watching my baby who's like, oh, do I go off this mat? It's amazing. We're going to bring you a nigun for Tzadikat Tamar from Cantor Shana Zell. Ami Tov, ladies and gentlemen, Ami Tov.
They can all practice.
So, I mean, we practice at home all the time. So I want to invite you, really, like Cantor Dana just said, just to honor the sway, honor the bending and the relax. And this is your Shabbat. Here you are. Everything is done that needs to be done now, and you are here where you need to be. Tzadikat Tamar. It's not in your book, so you just got to go into your heart for this one, okay? Tzadikat Tamar Yifrach, Tzadikat Tamar Yifrach, Tzadikat Tamar Yifrach, Tzadikat Tamar Yifrach, Ke'eretz Bavanon Yizkeh, 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 Bavanon Yizkeh, Yizkeh, Yizkeh. Yay, nay, 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 nay.
Tzadik, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach. Tzadik, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach. Ke'eres Bavanon Yizke, Yizke, Yizke. Ke'eres Bavanon Yizke, Yizke, Yizke. Tzadik, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach.
Before we move into our Mariv service and a little short Torah, I want to take a moment to bless our children. For any of ones who've got little ones, and you may feel like you need to go at a certain point. So we want to take a moment to offer you a blessing on your children. Dad, you are able to bless this child, or unless you have we have a couple children, so you know, this is for you, kids. For the boys, we say, Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim ve'ke'Menashe. For the girls, Yismech Elohim ke'Sara Rivcha Rachel v'Leah. Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. A blessing on our children, may you always feel safe, protected by the Holy One's embrace. May you be seen with favor, never-ending grace. May God show you kindness and everlasting peace. We all say, Amen. Parents, give your children some love. Let them know they're your blessing. Children, you really are our blessing. We're so grateful for your life. Well, I hope that you're sitting comfortable. I want to just give you a little bit of Torah before we move into Mariv. So thank you for the musicians. We're going to continue with you in a little bit, but feel free to be comfortable as I get myself ready here for a little Torah. This week we are in Parshat Shmini, and lovely. Thank you. That's great. That's perfect. That's super good. Thank you so much. And Aaron and his sons are now officially priests, and they're working in the temple and are given the orders for their sacrifices. And Moses tells them, in order to bring God's presence into the sanctuary, exactly what to do. We also have the laws of kashrut and Aaron's son die. How? How do Aaron's sons die? What? In front of the altar. What did they bring? Anybody remember? Oh yeah, Hebrew high student. Yeah, Bavakasha Julia. They brought a sacrifice that God did not ask for. Shul snaps is what I call that moment. Thank you so very much. Exactly. They brought a sacrifice that was not asked for. We're going to get to that actually in a little bit, but I want to paint a scene for you right now. So Moses is going to tell Aaron and his sons, the sons are going to sprinkle the blood and get everything ready, and then Aaron comes out, he blesses the people. They've done their deed exactly as was told. And nothing happens. At least that's how I see it, because a moment later, then Moses is then called in to come into the tent with Aaron. They disappear into the tent. They come back out. Then they bless the people, and then bam, God's presence is down, comes down in like a fire. People scream, they fall on their faces, and the presence of God is officially in the house. It's a very interesting moment, and we could get into this at another time. Did Moses need to come and help Aaron? Did Aaron actually do something wrong? What happened here? That was always interesting to me. But then it says this, and Aaron's sons, okay, so God's presence, right? You can imagine, you've on your face, whoa, God is here. We all felt it, we all screamed. And then, right after this miraculous moment, Aaron's sons, Nadav and Avihu, it says, each took his pan, put fire in them, placed incense upon it, and they brought it before the Lord foreign fire, which God had not commanded them. The fire went forth from before God and consumed them, the two boys, and they died before God. So what did they actually do wrong? They brought something that wasn't asked of them. They came, they brought a sacrifice. It wasn't asked, but we know we can give to God. What is actually going on here? What would merit it to be their lives? Here they are in the desert. They finally have a place that God can be with them. They finally have called God in, and these two men of service give to God. Rabbi Sachs says, the answer is in the text itself. Eish Zara, a foreign or a strange fire. And because it was used, because they used the wrong ingredients, possibly the wrong incense, bam, they're gone. And Rabbi Sachs teaches that the priesthood especially have rules and boundaries, and that they're paramount. And if you fall outside of those boundaries, those guidelines, you're out of the game. It's very, very cut and dry. Rashi, way before him, he's unsure of the matter, and he brings a few ideas that perhaps these young men were actually making religious decisions in front of Moses, right? You're someone that you are a manager of, they come to you and they tell you how to run your business, not such a good choice. So this is one option, but Rashi himself isn't even sure that that was the right option, because he brings in what the Talmud says, that these men, when they came to give their sacrifice right after the mega sacrifice, that they were intoxicated. They showed up to their job not in the right principle. And then they were therefore no longer worthy of making sacrifices. But I want to suggest that, yes, maybe, but I think that there's more of a straightforward lesson right here, and it's in the flow of the story. I'll get there in a second, but how many of you, and I'm sure it's everybody in this space, have had an incredibly decadent dessert? Like, what is, like, yeah, I love it. Like, what is, tell me like the most incredible dessert of your memory. Can someone just like tell us so we can drool just for a minute, just to get the flavor? Your hand went straight up, so.
That's Mark.
Mark.
Mark Golub.
Do you know?
What was the glorious
You
dessert?
got one? The key lime pie of your dreams on a platter, maybe with even flowers to make it look good. I don't know.
Made by Susan.
No flowers. No flowers. Whatever, just give me the fork and move aside. This is what we're saying. Okay, what else? Give me another decadent dessert of your dreams. Where's EB? Where did he go? So I was the kid.
Chocolate molten lava cake.
Okay, this is a good one. Chocolate molten lava cake.
I go with that.
Yeah. Okay, it's so rich, right? It's almost beyond description. I know all of us can be there, whatever that favorite dream dessert is. You have your fill, and wow, that was so special. That key lime pie was made with love, so special. You're full. You're totally satisfied. And a few minutes later, you find a little room. You know the feeling? It's still on the table, they didn't put it away, and there's a fork that's there. And so what ends up happening with that found room, what do?
Eat more.
You eat more, you finish it, you take another bite, you finish it. That's probably what ends up happening in my house. Thank you so much. You take another bite. Okay, forget dessert. Maybe that's not your thing. Maybe it's challah. Yeah? Or it's that Passover dinner. Or beyond food, I'm gonna go to the next level. Let's talk for a minute a little bit.
There are kids here. Be careful.
They're still here? No, they're mostly mine. It's okay. Let's go to Netflix. Okay, the show is over. What happens on Netflix when that favorite show you've been watching? What happens? Dad, what happens when your show is over? What happens on Netflix?
Previews of the next one.
The next one. It just pops up. It's just like loading. You're like, oh, but I'm tired. But what happens? You're just like, one more. It's just like, it's already loaded. I'm sitting. I'm comfortable. We're just gonna do another one. That's right. Okay, show's over. Next one, and then it goes to load. Okay, you go, and then it's like, do you go to bed? You call it a day, or are you like, okay, maybe one more even? And this is what Aaron's sons did, something that we all do. They binged. They overindulge. We take too much. That's the lesson here. And it does, in fact, ruin everything. The other night, I'm trying to go to bed, and I'm walking from my kitchen, and I am exhausted. I'm walking from my kitchen, I'm walking to my bedroom, and along the way, I see kids' pants, shoes, I see a dirty dish, I see a cup, I see something else, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna put these away so when I wake up, the space looks like maybe order. And I've found myself so tired, I'm barely getting to my bed, but I'm continuing to clean the house or do something. You know that feeling. What am I doing? I literally crashed in my bed, and you know what happens when you're so tired? You can't fall asleep. I literally ruined my night. When we say Dayenu, do we mean it? And here's the other thing. We pacify. I'm gonna put this in the big royal we, and I could say I. Pacify what enough is. If I always watch this amount of shows, that's my normal. I can watch this amount of shows. But is it really the right amount of shows for me? I always eat this amount of dessert, so I can always eat this amount of dessert, but is this the right amount for me? I want us to learn the Shabbat, and I want us to take an assessment of our behaviors. Too much news, too much screen time, too much fear, worry. What else? Too much what? What is your too much right now that you can even call out? I'm gonna do that because I'm a rabbi, I get to do that kind of thing. So what's your too much, Alma Bird?
Chocolate cake.
Too much chocolate cake. We're gonna reorient what is enough. What else is your too much?
Staying up.
Staying up too late. Nice. What's your too much? What? Work.
Oh yeah.
Too much work. Thank God for Shabbat. What's your too much? Turn to the person next to you if you don't want to say it out loud. What's your too much? What's your too much? Think about it. What's the thing? It's a little pacified. You said it out loud.
I did say that.
It's all the things. Too much service. Too much pain. Had Nadav and Avihu actually taken pause to witness the magnitude of God's presence, Dayenu, it would have been enough. We too can take pause before just one more. And we'll be able to actually relish in the splendor of the experience and perhaps go to bed comfortable with the taste of appreciation on our lips. Shabbat Shalom. We are going to do a rousing Mariv. If you've got it in you, I'm going to ask that we all rise to the occasion as we move into the Baruch Hu.
Page 28.
This is our power to be able to offer the blessing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these blessings for you so you can navigate your prayer book the way you're going to do it. But I'm going to give us these evening blessings. We'll have a short period of time for a personal amidah, a little bit of a healing, and Mourner's Kaddish and we will send you on your way.
Did I make that really
Yeah, you did.
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
Do you want me to
It's
fix
super
it for
fine.
you?
I'm super okay.
Sorry, honey.
Which way is east?
Sunset.
East is that way.
Thank you.
I need
Takes-
an ocean
takes
to
a
figure
village.
out.
That's me too.
Without an ocean, I can't figure out where I am.
We are.
Sunset apparently doesn't help me. No, Frank. No, it doesn't.
It's okay. You could be in another part
The
of the
sun
world.
sets in the west? What?
Only in Arizona.
Let's let the words of the Torah that we've just received kind of settle into our bodies as we offer our blessing to the source as we move into our Mariv. Yay, nai, 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 yai, nai, 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 yai, nai, 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 yai, nai, 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 yai, nai, 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 yai, nai, 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 yai, nai, 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 yai, nai, 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 yai, nai, 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 yai, nai, 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 nai. All our praise we sing unto you. Ya na 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 na. All our praise we sing unto you. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Ya na 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 ya na 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 na. All our praise we sing unto you. Na 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 ya na 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 na. All our praise we sing unto you. To be seated. Holy One, we bring the sweetness of this evening, and we make a blessing on that. Baruch atah Adonai Hamariv Arabim. Ya na 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 ya na 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 na. All our praise we sing unto you. Holy One, you've given us love, and we're so grateful for that love. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. We take a breath in, preparing for the Shema, finding our peace, our oneness.
Page 31.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך
ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך.
Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Haporei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Yananai, 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 yananai. All our praise we sing unto you. Yananai, 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 yananai. All our praise we sing unto you. At this time, you're welcome to find your own place for the Amidah. If you want to spread out in this beautiful pasture, find a space for your own personal prayer. We're going to bring you in with Adonai Sifatai,
Page 43.
Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha
As we are grateful tonight to be together, we are thinking of those in our community, our family, our friends, who are in need of our prayers of healing for our body and spirit. In our community, we're thinking of Brian Perlman, Yafa Bat Label Berezel, Barbara Mark Dreyfus, Betty Singer, Yehudit Bat Chana, Shira Bat Chaya Moshe, Chaya Chosel Bat Dvora, Anshel Ben Kleina Fega, the Smith family, Anna Boardman, Shmuel Volvel Ben Dvora, Stanley Pudnos, Judy Turgle Frieder, Chaya Batrella, Meir Ben Moshe Ubrendel, Rafael Chaim Ben Sylvia, Migdala Cruz, Aharon Ephraim Ben Tzvi Schner, Froma Elke Bat Arya Lev Esther Rachel, Roberta Lipsman, Chana Bat Tzivia, and Tzivia Elazar Kohen, Gittel Malka Bat Baruch Hashena, Henek Ben Rhodes, Chaim Leb Ben Pinchas Bezelda, Tammy Trow, Sarah Vida Bat Esther, Jan Stearns, Perla Bat Chilia Esther, Barak Ben Bracha. And I invite you to keep the names of those you know who we didn't say out loud. You can say them to yourselves, keep their names in your heart, however you feel comfortable. Mi shebeirach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We are going to move right into a Kaddish Shalem, Aleinu, and then we'll have a moment for Mourner's Kaddish before we end our service this evening.
Yitkadal Yitkadash Shemei Rabbai Be'alma Divra Kriti V'yamlich Machute V'chayechon V'yamechon V'chayechol Beit Yisrael Bagalav Yizman Karim V'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'alam Lo Me'almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'ishtabach V'pa'ar V'trama V'naseh V'yitadar V'tala V'talal Shmei Kudsha Rechu Leila Min Kol Berchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nachamata Da'amiran Mi'alma V'imru Amen. Titkabal Sultan V'uton D'chol Yisrael Kodam Avoni V'shmaya V'imru Amen. Yehi Shlom Arama Min Shmaya V'chaim Aleinu V'el Kol Yisrael V'yimeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Mimramav Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu V'el Kol Yisrael V'el Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'imru Amen.
Aleinu, page 63.
Aleinu l'shabeach
Adon Hakol Latei Gedula Leotzer Breshit Shelo Asanu Kigoye Haratzon Velo Samanu Kemishpachot Adama Shelo Samchalkinu Kahem Bivor Aleinu Kechol Amonam Mananu Korim Umishtachavim Umodim Lifnei Melech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kakatu b'tortecha Adonai imloch le'olam va'en v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz b'yom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shmo we take a pause to remember those who are no longer with us on this earth, but are forever sealed in our hearts. The yard sites that we have this week: Albert Young, James Morrison, Raphael Gan Eden, Sarah Kaufman, Wallace Rosenthal, Dorothy Glazer, Ruth Barnett, Isidore Handelman, Edith Grossman, William Sheff, Yashua Zarkim, Elaine Stone, Ruth Arnfeld. Is there anybody acknowledging a passing, marking a yard site that was not on this list that would like to say their name out loud? We rise, if it is your custom. For those that are mourning, we say the Kaddish Yatom together on page 66. Yitz Gadol ve'yitz Kadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divra chirte v'amlich malchute v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye zechol Beit Yisrael v'agala ubizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei omaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei zekudsha b'richu Ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata za'amiran v'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Osei shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May their memories be forever a blessing, and may the one who makes peace in the heavens bring peace to this earth. And we all say, Amen. Ooh, we have made it.
We've made it.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. We're going to have a couple announcements.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Announcements, announcements, announcements.
Here, Frank, why don't you come here?
We've been wanting to do that out loud for a while, haven't we?
A long time.
Okay, here, dear. Here, dear.
Thank you, Cantor. A big thank you to Rabbi Funke, Cantor Rubenstein, and our musicians, David Rubin on violin, Yosef Funke on the drums, percussion, and David Sharp on the guitar. Woo! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I'm going to make this really short. And Scott. Oh my gosh, Scott Wiggin. My God, we could not have gotten through this year plus without Scott Wiggin, believe me. And we are so grateful. And to Yosef, to Scott, to Cantor for helping to set up, to EB, thank you. We got set up earlier today. We could use a little help tearing down. So if you can stay, anybody, and help us to pack things up here, we would really appreciate it. Services tomorrow at 9:30. If you haven't signed up, come see me afterwards. We still have some space. We have about 24 or 5 people coming tomorrow. We can go up to 40 at the synagogue for a full service. It'll also be online. I'll leave it at that. Check your e-bulletin for the rest of the announcements. And thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
We're going to send you off with a quick Osei Shalom as
Wait,
you... Oh.
I'm sorry. I just want to make sure if you have, just look around to make sure you have if there's any trash, to just pick it up yourself if you don't mind. That would be super helpful.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
We're going to do Osei Shalom. It's okay.
Osei Shalom bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel ve'yamru Amen.
You can boogie.
Osei Shalom bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Shabbat shalom.